this is Srujna. In the last session, I had discussed about modules topic. Up to modules topic, core Python is completed. In this session, I will start advanced Python. That is nothing but OOPS. Let's see what is OOPS. Python is an object-oriented programming language that allows us to develop applications using an object-oriented approach. In Python, we can easily create and use classes and objects. Python is an object-oriented program. It allows us to create applications. It allows us to create an applications using object-oriented programming approach. Whenever we create an application using object-oriented approach, automatically it gives security for that application. Automatically it will give security for that applications. Okay. In Python, we can easily create and use classes and objects. Let's see, these are the major principles of object-oriented programming. What are that? Object, class, method, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, encapsulation. In the later, so one by one, I will tell about these major applications of OOPS concept. So what is an object, what is a class, what is method, inheritance, polymorphism, data abstraction, encapsulation. So let's move. First of all, we have to know about what is the difference between object-oriented programming and procedure-oriented programming. What are the differences between object-oriented programming and procedure-oriented programming? See here. So see here the first difference. It makes the development and maintenance easier. Whenever we are developing an application in object-oriented programming, it makes easy to development and maintenance. In procedure programming, it is not easy to maintain the code when the project becomes lengthy. Whenever the code length is increased, it is not easy to maintain the code easily. Okay, it is not maintain the code when the project becomes lengthy. See the next difference. It simulates the real world entity. So real world problems can be easily solved through OOPS concept. So but it is not real world simulator. Okay, it is a step-by-step instructions divided into small parts called as functions. So object-oriented simulates real-world entity. Procedure-oriented not simulate real-world entity. It is a step-by-step process. So means it supports functional-oriented approach. In object-oriented, the functions can be called as methods. Whenever we write a function outside the class, it will be treated as function. Whenever we write a function inside the class, it will be treated as method. See the next difference. It provides data hiding. Data hiding. So, it is more secure than procedure language. You cannot access private data from anywhere. Means it supports encapsulation mechanism. Encapsulation, binding of data, hiding of data is the applications of encapsulation. It provides data hiding. So, it is more secure than procedure language. You cannot provide data from anywhere. Means it provides security for that applications. Procedure-oriented language. Procedure language does not provide any proper way for data binding or data hiding, etc. So it is a less security. Procedure-oriented is less security. Object-oriented is more security. Examples of object-oriented programming languages is C++, Java, .NET, Python, C#, etc. Example programming languages for procedure-oriented is C, Fortran, Pascal, VB, etc. This is the main differences between object-oriented programming and procedure-oriented programming. Let's see. What is a class? What is a class? Let's see here. First of all, I would like to tell an example for class and object. Class and object. See here, it is an object. Object. What is object? Object is nothing but real world entity. It is nothing but object. Real world entity is called as object. Examples of that. For example, one house is a real world entity. Fruits is a real world entity. Like anything, you can See here, pen is a real world entity like this. Okay. What is a class? It is a blueprint of object. It is a blueprint of object. That is nothing but class. It is a blueprint of object. That is nothing but class. Blueprint. Okay, blueprint. For example, I want to develop. So I want to build a house. For example, I want to build a house. See here. I want to build a house. For this, first of all, I have blueprint for that house. First of all, I have blueprint for that house. So I am preparing blueprint for that house. So it is a blueprint for this house. So after preparing of this, the house is built. The house is built. Okay. This blueprint is used for many houses. Is it clear? This blueprint is used for many houses. This blueprint is used for many houses. Means one class contains many objects. We can access the methods and variables from the object methods and variables from the class by using object. So these the class contains whatever it called fields. Fields is nothing but data or variables is called as fields. So functionality is nothing but methods, constructors, etc. If you want to access these fields and functionality from the class, must and should we have to create an object. One class contains many objects. We have to access the data from the class by using object. So let's move on to the class and object. So class can be defined as a collection of statements. It is logical entity that has some specific attributes and methods. So attributes is nothing but variables, fields, data, etc. A class is a way of binding the data and associated methods in a single unit. One class contains so many methods and so many fields like that. So a class is a way of binding the data and associated methods in a single unit. For example, if you have employee class, then it should contains an attribute and method. That is nothing but an employee contains email ID, name, age, salary, address, mobile number, etc. These fields are called as attributes and methods. Okay. So this is the syntax of class. What is that? Class name. So see here class is a keyword. Here class name is a identifier. So these class contains some statements. That statements may be data or fields or methodology. Methodology is nothing but functionality. Okay. What is an object? The object is an entity that has state and behavior. It may be any real world object like mouse, keyboard, chair, table, pen, house, etc. Okay. The object is an entity that has state and behavior. It may be any real world object like this mouse, keyboard, chair, table, pen, etc. Okay. The physical existing of class is nothing but object. See here, the physical existing of class is nothing but object. Okay. If you want to access any data from the class, must and should we have to create an object. If you want to access a data or functionality from the method from the class, must and should we have to create an object. What is the syntax of class? Sorry, what is the syntax of object? Object name is equal to class name of arguments. So we have to pass arguments within the parentheses. Let's see an example for class and object. Let's see an example for class and object. Let's see here. I'm taking a new page. In this, I'm writing a class. Class. What is the class syntax? Class name. For example, I'm taking person as class. I didn't write any statements here. Instead of that, I'm writing here pass. Okay. So here it is a pass is a keyword. Class is also a keyword. Here person is a class name. So must and should we have to follow identifier rules for this class name. Identifier rules for this class name. And next we have to create an object for this class. An object for this class. For this, what is the syntax? Object name is equal to what is the class name? Person is a class name. That's it. Let's print P. See here. It is an empty class. There is no statements in this class. Let's execute this. Let's see the output. Here, person is a class. Okay. So it is the main functionality. Main function starts from this. It is the main functionality. It is a class functionality. Whenever we create an object for person, automatically person class is executed. That is the main person object. It is the object memory allocation, like this object memory allocation here. Okay, let's give some functionality here. For example, person contains a name is equal to for example Srishna. So again, person contains age is 26. Okay. So p.name. Let's print these functionalities. Okay. Let's print these functionality. Not functionality, attributes. Attributes is nothing but fields or variables, etc. Fields or variables we can call as fields, attributes, variables, etc. Okay. So I'm creating an object for person. Okay. I'm creating an object for person, that is nothing but P. So I have to print these attributes. For example, you are printing like this. Print name. I want to access name and age from the class. So here I am printing like this. Automatically it will generate an error message. Name is not defined. If I want to access these attributes from the class, must and should I have to create an object. P is equal to person of. Let's see here. P.name. Automatically. So P is referred as object. So P can access the attributes from the class. So P.name. Then the answer is Srishana. See here. So next, print P.age. Then answer is 26. Like this. Okay. Let's see another example. For example, employee. Employee contains name, salary is equal to 70. Salary, ID, Okay. So here, see here, class name is changed. So automatically we have to create an object for this class. E is equal to, so E dot name. Let's print E dot name, E dot salary. Print E dot ID. E dot ID. Let's execute this. Srijana and salary, and it is an ID. So if you want to write name, name is equal to salary is equal to ID is equal to. Let's print name is equal to Srijana and salary is equal to some salary and ID is equal to some ID. Okay. So this is the example for class and object. So see here what I am telling. One class contains so many objects. So here I am creating another object. I am creating another object for same class. E1 is equal to employee. E1 is equal to employee. Let's print same data. Print name is equal to E1 dot name. E1 dot name. Print object 1 data, object 1 data, print new line, object 2 data. Okay, let's execute. Here object 1 data is name, salary, ID. Here it is an object 2 data. If I print again this message, it will be executed. E1, E1. Okay. So one class contains many objects. So one class contains many objects. This is about class and object. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Methods. So what is method? I will tell you brief discussion only what is a method. Okay. So methods are used to write the business logics of the project. Methods are used to write the business logics of the project. Coding conversions of method is method name starts with lowercase. If method contains more than one word, then every inner word starts with uppercase. Okay. If method at least one argument should be there, that is nothing but self. Okay. Method name contains some rules, not rules. It is a convention. Okay. Convention. Coding convention for method is method name starts with lowercase. So class is also contains coding conversions of class. Class name starts with the capital letter. See here. Class name. Class name starts with uppercase. Class name starts with uppercase. If class name contains more than one word, if class name contains more than one word, each of internal word should be uppercase. like this. Example of class name. It is an example of class name. So see here, for example, my class is person, my class is employee. Okay, so my class name is person details. Person is the first word, details is the second word. Person details. Employee details. Employee details, like this. Sum of two numbers is a class name. Sum of two numbers. We have to print like this. Okay, so we have to give class name. So to follow these rules, not a rule, it is a convention. You have to follow or not, it will be executed successfully. But as a developer, we have to use these rules. We have to use these rules. Class name starts with uppercase. If class name contains more than one word, each of the internal word should be uppercase. Exactly, what is method name? Method name. It is a coding convention. Method name starts with lowercase. Method name starts with lowercase. If method name contains more than one word, each of internal word should be uppercase. Let's see an example for method name. For example, my method name is display. Like this. My method name is insert. Like this. If my method name is display values. Like this. Display values. If my method name is insert values. Okay, so this is about method and class names. Okay, see here, in methods at least one argument should be present, that is nothing but self. In methods at least one argument should be there, that is nothing but a self, like this. Okay, let's see an example program for methods. Example program for method. Before that, we have to know about syntax of method. Def, method name, arguments, statements. Def is a keyword. It will start methods and functions also. Whenever we are writing a function inside the class, it will be treated as method. Whenever we write a function inside the class, it will be treated as method. Whenever we write a function outside the class, it will be treated as function. That is the difference between functions and methods. Def, method name, arguments, statements. It is about syntax of methods. Let's see an example of method. For example, I am taking a class. Class name is employee. Employee contains name, salary. Okay, if I want to print this data this data, so we have to use object. Must and should we have to create an object for this. E is equal to employee of, we have to give parenthesis here, print e dot name, print e dot sal. Then the answer is okay, Srijana, 35,000. But I'm writing here one method. Method name starts with def. What is the method name? For example, I am writing display is a method. Display is a method. Okay. See here. So, must and should. A method contains at least one argument. What is that argument? That argument is self. After that, you have to give your wish arguments. Okay, see here. Here printing, print self dot name. Self dot name. Okay, name already contains in employee. Okay, employee. So, you have to access by using self. Print self dot salary. Just remove this. Okay, so I have to call here display function by using e dot display. Let's call this function. Let's call this method and execute this. See here, Srishna, 35,000 is the answer. This is the basic example program for methods. So, this is the basic example program for methods. So, in this session, I discussed about what is a OOPS. What is OOPS? So, means what is OOPS? Python is an object-oriented programming. It allows us to develop application using an object-oriented programming approach. In Python, we can easily create and use classes and objects. Python supports object-oriented programming. So whenever an application are developed by using object-oriented programming, automatically it will give security for that an application. Okay. So next, we discussed about what is the differences between object-oriented and procedure-oriented programming language, and then we move on to the class. So what is a class? Syntax of class. And what is an object? Syntax of object. There are examples of class and object. Then we will move on to the methods concept. What is a method? What is the coding conversions for method and class? Later I tell an example of methods concept. Okay, in the next session I will tell about types of variables. After that I will move on to the constructors and methods topic. Okay, so let's see our videos regularly. If you have any doubts, please post on comment section. Okay, thanks for watching.